Hello, welcome. I really appreciate every one of us for joining us today. Thank you for joining us in today's episode of Where Mindset Changes. Please don't scroll, stay with us till the end of the program. I really appreciate our guests. We have wonderful guests today and panelists that will be talking about a very beautiful topic. First, let me introduce myself and our panelists. My name is Dr. Turisha. I'm a wife, a mother, a digital franchise entrepreneur, and business educator. Now, let me move to Dr. Julia. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Friday episode. Thank you so much, Dr. T. My name is Dr. Julia. I'm a digital mentor. I live in this to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Julia. Okay, now, Mentor Nancy, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Dr. Torishe. My name is Nancy, Master's Prepared Nurse in Adult Gerontology and a digital business mentor. Welcome and thank you.
Thank you so much. We have a lot of medical people today with us. So we'll turn to our coach. Coach, introduce yourself.
All right. Hi, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching us from. Forgive my voice today, okay? So my name is Dorothy Nakalema from Uganda, currently proud digital business coach, globally a mother and entrepreneur. Yeah, that's a quick one for me today. And back to you, Dr. T.
Coach, please get yourself comforted, a glass of water, any snack of your choosing, and enjoy the program. Let us know where you are watching from. UK, US, Canada, Nigeria, wherever. Just let us know in the comment section. And also, tell us what you think about the program. Is it echoing? Let us know so that we can adjust our sound system. And today our topic is the cost of doing nothing. So simple. The cost of doing nothing. And let me ask you, what is the cost of inaction? What is the cost? The cost of doing something, taking action, is visible presently. But the cost of not taking a decision isn't visible. You may later find out that cost in the future, and it may be too late. However, our panelists are going to dig into this topic and tell us the cost of doing nothing. I will start with Dr. Julia. What do you think the cost of doing nothing is? And also give us an example of any time your inaction did cost you something. Dr. Julia.
Dr. T. Again, welcome everyone. Today's topic is really I don't know the right word to choose. You think it's simple. It's not because of the consequences of not doing anything. I was thinking, what can I share to our viewers today? What can I say that will be meaningful so that people will really understand the consequences of not doing anything? I'm going to start by sharing some experiences. As a nurse leader, in nursing, we said If it is not documented, it's not done. I know, no, we are not in a perfect world. So do something, provided you have the rationale. Your rationale might not be my own rationale, but you did something. Sometimes I may say, pray you're not killing anybody. Do something. But if you're doing something, it's gonna lead to somebody's death. That, please, So in this context of this today, as business owners and digital owners for that matter, look at our skills, we support others, we guide others, we help others to get to their destination, to get to where they need to be. So if you sit down and you don't do anything, do you think you can do any of those? No. We are here today because we did something. All of us, I know pretty much where we are in this business. We are all doing great. When I say great, all of us on the panel, we are doing well because we did something. We didn't sit down on defense, and I like to use the word procrastinate. My kids mess with me. You procrastinate, I will. But since, life is moving on. It's not waiting for you to get ready. Things are changing. They're not going to wait until you are ready to take action. They'll continue to move on. So the best thing for you is to move on with the trend. In nursing, we said things are changing. I remember when I came to this country, I took my NCLEX exam with paper. And when I share it with my students, they laugh. Can you do that now? Things are changing. So you have to change. We are in the era of AI. AI did this, AI did that. It's moving. It's not going to wait for you to get ready. So the earlier you get ready, embrace it and do it in the right way. I use AI as an example. You use AI. AI is a good tool, but you have to use it in the right way. You have to use it ethically. You have to, even in this business, AI is a good tool for us in this business, but you must learn to use it the right way, not the negative way. So what does that mean? Opportunity comes but once. I learned this English. I was trained by old headmasters and headmistress, my grandparents. My grandfather always say, opportunity comes but once. I'm talking about 40, 50 years ago, 40, 45 years ago. My grandfather is late. He's a renowned educator. Then he will say, carefulness wanted to take. What does that mean? Carefulness wanted to take opportunity. You have to be prepared and be ready for the opportunity to come. Opportunity comes for those who are ready. And when you are ready, you grab it. But if you're not ready, you're procrastinating, not doing anything, you're inactive, I tell you, it's going to pass you. A lot of my colleagues think I'm very, very active, that I'm, Julia, how do you function? And let me tell you, research has shown that people that are very active, people that are multitasking, they are very effective and efficient in what they do because they take action. That's what research is, not me. That's what research has shown. So it is better for you to be active so that your brain will be active. Thinking, be creative, be innovative. How can I change? Who can I change? And even the more you change others, the better for you. But you have to know what you have to be prepared for you to change anybody, because you can't pour from an empty barrel. You can't give what you don't have. Another point I want our viewers to think about is choosing not to act sometimes means you are stuck in a particular situation. In that comfort, you call it comfort zone. Do you think people see you as you're in a comfort zone? I'm going to use what I know every day. I'm a nurse practitioner. A lot of our nurses, especially immigrants, after the nursing program, you spend your time, you spend your money, you sacrifice family, everything. You're still doing that same thing you were doing before you went and changed yourself. Why? Why did you waste all those time? Why did you pile all that student loan? If you were comfortable in that previous situation, why not stay there? You didn't like it. That's why you wanted to improve yourself. Now you have improved yourself. Do what comes, the responsibilities and accountabilities that comes with improving yourself. You're scared. You're not taking action. So in this business, it costs, remember our Friday episode is where mindset changes. So your mindset, something you need to pray every day. God, please give me the grace and the wisdom to change my mindset. You have to, because if your mindset doesn't change, you think outside the box, you are stuck in one place, and it's hard to create changes, be innovative, be creative in one spot. That's what I think, and that's what I know. So the more you develop new skills, the more you develop yourself, the more you can develop others, and the more we make the world a better place for all of us. So I'm gonna stop here, and hear what my other panelists thinks. Thank you so much, Dr. T.
What is not documented is not done. What is not documented, if you have not, learned anything today, what is not documented? And she talked about action. It's one thing to take action, it's another thing to take responsibility. Many of us went to school. Yes, education, you are taught, given skills that will help you earn a living for now. What about the future? So you need to what? Self-educate, take action, responsibility to move out of your comfort zone, stretch out of that limit. Those are the things she was talking about. Very good. Thank you, Doc. I want Mentor Nancy, a very intelligent lady, to talk to us about, the hidden costs of doing nothing, financially and family-wise. Thank you.
All right, it looks like we lost Mentor Nancy. Yeah. All right, so as we wait for her to be back, I think we can proceed, right? So the host, what do you think? Do you want to take over before she comes back?
I want you to talk to us about the costs, the hidden costs of doing nothing, financially and also family-wise.
Okay. All right. Still, forgive my voice, everybody. I repeat this. All right. Thank you so much for this wonderful question. This is something I remember some years ago. I think that was around 2020, or was it 2015? In 2015, yes. So the hidden cost of doing nothing should be family-wise or financially. I'm going to focus on the financial side because it hit me badly in the year of 2025. I mean 2015. So let's have every thought out there. For those who are, watching us live, you will tell us the experience. So could actually be the most, I should say, the hidden cost of doing nothing is the most expensive decision you ever make. And most people, they don't get to realize that, and I'm going to explain why. So most people think taking action is risk. Unfortunately, it's wrong. It's a calculated risk. It's risky if you did not do that calculations, right? But if you take a calculated risk, is the most expensive. I should say is a decision your future thank. Let's say that. So, but today I want to show you that staying exactly where you are might be costing you far more than you realize. if you're actually joining us live, let us know where you're watching us from, because this topic, it is no matter even if you're in which country, it hit everybody differently, as our host said, financially or even family wise, right? So now we often wrong about the cost of trying something new. And what if we actually always often worry, we actually ask questions. What if it doesn't work? What if I lose money? What if I fail? But very few people stop to ask themselves another question. And that is, what is the cost? Like, let's say, what is it costing me if I don't absolutely, like, if I do absolutely nothing? What is it going to cost you? Well, you've asked your questions, you've asked yourself all of those questions. What if it doesn't work? What if I lose money? What if I fail? What if? But have you ever sat down and asked your question to yourself? What is it costing me if I do absolutely nothing? Think about it. If your income stays, let's say, the same for the next 5 years, while the cost of food, rent, fuel, healthcare, education, like this keeps increasing. Who is paying that hidden cost? So if you sit down and you start to ask this kind of question, we always ask people questions, but we don't sit down and we ask questions to ourselves that we answer. We love to ask people and we love to hear their answers, but we never sat down and asked ourselves kind of question. And this is a question you have to ask yourself. Nobody should ask this, right? It's yourself. Sit down with your inner person, have a very good meeting. If it's 1 hour, 30 minutes, get a cup of tea, sit together with your inner person and make sure you answer this question. So every year you delay learning a new skill, you create another income of, you're all creating another stream of income. You may be losing opportunities that actually will never come back again. So I don't even always talk about this because back home, I was a nurse and I practiced for only 2 months and I left. And the reason is today's question, the hidden cost. That's why I did 2 months and I grew. And that will be another story and why. But as a former nurse, I learned something very important while I was in the hospital those 2 months. When a sick person used to come into the hospital, even today, people in healthy care, you can relate this, right? If a sick person comes in the hospital, if you do nothing, you're definitely not going to get the best results or the best treatment. But these people came for treatment. So if someone is dehydrated, we give an IV, right? You give that IV. If they say they need oxygen, we provide oxygen. If you take action because if we don't take action because of delaying the treatment, the situation might become worse. We all know that. If somebody is dehydrated, we know very well we're going to have to get the IV fluids. If not, if it's blood, we're going to get blood, you always have an option, right? It's because once we delay, the situation is going to worsen, right? That's why we act right away. And it's the same thing happened to my own life. So I remember when I graduated and I started to work, we have those high expectations. And I realized our income, it was something which is going to take me forever to achieve my goals. And I'm like, okay, now I need to act. And I start to think differently. It was a very big fight in my family. Africa, when you graduate as a nurse, they even start to call you a doctor before you become a doctor, right? Because of that white gown. So, and it was a very big fight. So this tells you that I took a risk, but my risk was calculated to live a profession whereby I went to school dreaming that, and I was there just 2 months. Everybody was like, this girl has a problem. But it's because I was afraid to take that hidden cost, because it was going to take me forever or long time for me to achieve my goals. So that is similar. It's actually, life is very similar to that. It's the same thing. When you put that into your, family or financially, whatever, start to ask those kind of questions. You will get to know that, okay, it's time now for me to start take the calculated risk so that I don't pay the hidden costs. Sometimes the biggest risk isn't taking action, actually. The biggest risk is waiting for the perfect time, because we always wait for that perfect time, right? So if I waited for the perfect time for me to start something else, for me to start thinking that, okay, on this nursing job, I have to get something extra neat. That's when I went to safety. Actually, even safety, I did it back home. So that's when I started to juggle into safety. I'm like, okay, but if I just kept on thinking, waiting for the perfect time to know that, oh, I need to get to supplement something on this, I would have not been where I was before even I left Uganda. So because the perfect time rarely comes, it never comes most of the times, right? The hidden cost of doing nothing includes missed opportunities, financial stress, depending on only one paycheck, right? Watching others move forward while you are still thinking of what to do. And the good example is me. When I started this business, a lot of people saw me. Some of them told me it's a scam. Don't try it. We have been here for 20 years. We have been seeing it. You think we don't love it? We do, but it's not real. But you see, they're missing all these opportunities for all those years. Now, the thing is, living with the question, what if I had started? So stop thinking those. Now you start to think. I actually still receive some calls, people telling me, you started when we are seeing you. I wish I started. Oh, how can I start now? Some people, they still say, I wish I started, but still they don't start. They don't start. They don't start. So by the time when it's closely, maybe they lose their job, maybe something happens to the workplace, maybe health-wise, where they need to be home. Now that's when they start to panic to start. But the right time to start is when you still have your job to facilitate your business. So remember, you don't have to have it all. You don't have to get all your answer in one day. The thing is to get that first step, move like the way babies move, right? They take the first step, right? They take the second step. So move and take that first step, get the information session, get to know what exactly inside the information pack. Get your second step to book a call with a coach. Go to the other step to become a business owner. So some small actions you just have to be consistent, creates those big results over time. Because the way I started in 2022 is not the way for today. Actually, when we were starting this live, the host was like, oh, you look different, right? Compared when you started and how you're looking today. So these results are just coming over time. All right. So that is it for me for now. And back to you, the host.
You see the way she just put it out there. The cost of inaction. Financially, you are affected because situation isn't waiting for you. You work in the hospital, somebody is dehydrated, you need to give maybe water, or what's the medication she said, and you refuse. The person's situation may get worse. You get it? The person may die. I remember one situation. That doctor was sued. The patient came to the hospital. The doctor just gave one excuse or the other and didn't attend to that patient, not knowing that the husband was with a camera, videoed everything. As he was taking the person to another hospital, the wife died. All hell, that hospital was shut down. That doctor had no excuse not to attend to that patient. So inaction can lead to a worsening situation. It can lead to death. Inaction can financially hinder you and your family. So today, take action. I remember something that Professor William James said. He said, we humans, we are half awake. He said, we use less than half, 10% of our potentials. So what are you sitting on today? I remember when I just came to the UK, struggling to get a job, got one. Thank God for the job. But the role I was given is a role, it's below the role I started as a banker in Nigeria. So when I come, I find it very difficult to to cope. You know, job fulfillment was not there, it was not challenging. Everything you need to do, you have to pass it through somebody. I needed the job. But I started doing what? Thinking of what? Options. I had to take a decision. That was how I started my digital franchise business. Today, if I never want to work, who cares? You are telling me I won't do overtime. I won't do overtime because now I've discovered what? My passion. Now I'm doing something that gives me flexibility, freedom to be with my loved ones and earn. Not just that, I'm building my own what? Legacy that I can hand over to anyone. South Africa, you heard what they were doing? Okay. If anything like that happened in UK, I lose nothing. Anywhere in the world, I can do this business. So what is inaction costing you today? Mortgage is rising, inflation off the roof, advancement in technology. You remember what Elon Musk said? We played the tape like 3 weeks ago when he said AI is taking over jobs and most governments of the world will be involved in universal, basic income. That means AI will be doing so much, cost of production will drop, there will be mass production, people will lose their job. Government will need to pay people to sit at home. So today people are now thinking of jobs they can do that AI can enhance them, but they humans can do. And that's the digital business. We can do it from the comfort of our home, wherever. That is creating options. Thank you, Mentor Nancy, for coming back. Please, I want you to talk to us about some of the hidden costs of doing nothing. Coach Dorothy talked about finances and family. So talk to us about other areas. Thank you.
Share and thank you, everyone. When it comes to the cost of doing nothing, there are many and they are severe. And most of the time, what happens is when you choose to do nothing, you're not only impacting your life, you're impacting many people, not only in your family, but outside. And one of the things that I could say is it's interesting how many people have started this business because of seeing me online. They were wondering, Nancy, you're in the medical field. What are you doing? What are you telling people? They're online. They see you and they're wondering, what is that all about? And that's a question I consistently get on a weekly basis. I saw you talking and I was wondering, what is it that you keep on telling people? What are you talking about? So it comes back to, and people end up joining and starting the business. So when we talk about an impact, it's not only to you. Yes, directly to you, the points have already been talked about, the financial, you not doing what you would have been doing. Growth is another area, because when you don't take action, and in this particular forum, we are not only talking about business, we are talking about every area of your life. When you don't take action, whether it's school, because sometimes it's good to kind of diverge it so that it can be applicable to real life situations. You're sitting there thinking, I need to become an engineer, I need to become a doctor, I need to become whatever it is you need to become, but you've not gone to school to take the prerequisites, or even you haven't even taken the first step. Simple, just calling the school or going to the internet and checking, what would I need for me to be able to even apply to this program, or what are the qualifications? A simple step, because that information is free. Just like in this business, initially when you start getting the information to just kind of find out what this business is about, the information is free. Many people sit back on the background saying, you know what, I've had somebody talking about it, I'll do it at some point. But again, you're missing on growth. At this point, you would have taken the extra steps that you needed to find out, is it the school that I want? Is it the career I want to do? And it could help you in your personal growth. We've heard about the financial aspects that have been talked about, how it impacts you. Now imagine, as Dr. Torishe has talked about the bills, everything is getting very expensive. So you think about it, if you had this on the background just running as you're doing the job you like, because most of us here have more than one stream of income. We have our 9 to 5, and this is our 5, I call it the 5 to 9. So we have the day and the after hours job. So when you come to that, you could have it running on the sideline, and it becomes just a safety net in case you ever need it. Because again, it is also a comfort zone. Imagine if you don't have anything running, then the unexpected happens and now you need it. Don't you want to be in a position where you have a comfort zone that you could lean back on, something that could help you pay, whether it is a mortgage or it could be a bill? Having a safety net is good. So the hidden cost, another cost, is just the comfort, because of course you need peace of mind and a comfort. And this can be created when you have at least this business running on a side, or when you fail, when you take the steps to act. Because we constantly are looking at, I'm waiting for us to have the perfect picture, the perfect time, oh, you know what? Some people will actually, I've had people call me and tell me, hey, Nancy, what is this you're talking about? Because I thought you went to school for nursing. What is it? I explained to them what it is I'm talking about, send them to where the information is, because this job is not that difficult. It's mostly pointing people to where they get the information, because we have a team that works on giving people detailed information about what the business is about. So your business as a person, if you were to choose to join this business, is pointing people to where the information is. So when I tell people, I point them to where the information is, and they go and find the information, they come back and thank me and ask me, oh, so this is all you need to do? I'm like, it's kind of bottom line what you need to do. I didn't know that. So again, people will say, you know what, I've been seeing, not only you, I've seen a couple of other people who are there talking about it, but didn't know this is just this is the part of business that you're doing, and this is what I need to get started. So again, you end up, because of not taking that first step of saying, hey, what is this about? Or not acting on, again, as I talked about school, you end up falling behind or not getting the growth you would have gotten if you had stepped into doing something. So in a snapshot, I will also say, not only are you affecting yourself when you don't do anything, you're affecting others. Not only in your family, you also affect an outer community, because there are people who are watching you. And when people are watching you, you are helping them. Not only are you, any steps you take, not only do you help yourself, you help other people. Like when I got into nursing, there are many people who came to me and ask me about, hey, how are we doing this? How do we get here? And I would point people. It's the same thing with this business. People come to you, you show them what the business is about, what the benefits are, and then there you have done your piece. And also at the same point, your growth, because you will realize you're able to do many things that initially maybe you could have been scared. Because I would say social media has never been my forte thing, and many people in this business, when you talk to them, they'll tell you social media, me and social media, we're not on the same they say WhatsApp group, or we're not in the same category. But right now, if you look here, you find many people are jumping in and going into an area where you'd have said, that's not my comfort zone. You get to a place where you can jump in and do things like this webinar where we are talking. So I will say again, not only does it help with your personal growth, there's the financial bit of it, which has already been talked about by the other panelists. There's also the impact you have to yourself and the community and your family. Because when you join this business and you start it, unlike my nursing degree, and this is something that got me thinking, and we talked about it, I think, in a previous podcast we had here. Unlike your degrees, whether you're an engineer, whether you're a medical doctor, whether you're a nurse practitioner, whether you're an educator, whatever it is, insurance, those licenses that you attain going to school, you can never pass them on to anybody. But with this business, you create generational wealth, which you can hand over to your family. So think about it. Your failure to act is not impacting you, it's impacting your generation. And all it costs is just $149, which is fully refundable if this is not for you. So think about it. Is $149 where you can go listen to all the information. Initially, actually, I want to take a step back. The information is free. For us laying the groundwork, you get a 20-minute webinar if you visit any of our websites or contact either one of us. You will be able to get a 20-minute free webinar where you kind of look into the information and check, is this for me? After you think, you know what, I'd like to explore this further, then we discuss about the 149. And once you pay the 149, you can, once you listen to it and you feel this is not for me, the money is fully refundable. So there's no do or die affair, whether now you've paid it, you have to stick in. No. Once you listen to the whole presentation, which is about 3 hours long, see how much you see our vendors, see what how the business works, see the blueprint. If you feel this is not for you, at that point you can get a refund. And if this is for you, then we proceed with you contacting any of us, and then we help you on the other steps. Thank you very much.
Mentor Nancy, you know, she's just going deep, you know, how your inaction can impact you and others. She took action in digital business, even as a medical person, and now she's impacting others. People are coming to her. What are you talking about? How can we get started? So her decision is impacting others financially. They are now building what? A safety net. And that is what options. When you are scared to take action, you will pay the cost of regrets. And the cost of regret is endless. Okay, I want mentor Dr. Juliet, Dr. Julia to just talk to us for a minute on an area we have not touched in not taking action.
Thank you again, Dr. T. Yes, Coach Dorothy and Mentor Nancy really nailed it. I think we've covered pretty much, you know, the basic areas. I like when Mentor Nancy said it not just if you don't take action, you are not the only one impacted. You are impacted and the community. I'm sure all of us here, a lot of people look up to me. A lot of people look up to me, and a lot of people are doing this business because Julia is in this business. And that gives me joy. It gives me hope. It makes me to be more proud, you know, about myself. Anybody I talk to, oh, if Julia is doing this, I'm going to do this. That's something. If somebody that knows that person say, oh, she's doing because, oh, if she's connected, oh, which means we're impacting our community. We're impacting our community really good. Another part I wanted to highlight a little bit is those people who sit on defense, they're not taking action. Oh, I know about that. No, it's, you know, oh no, I've done it before. You haven't done this business, but you've done a kind of business before. Because if you have done this business, you can't say anything negative about it. So if you have done something like that or an MLM business, this is one of it. but this is a different package. It's okay to say, I have done something like this before. Like I'm talking to a physician now. When we started last week, she said, I have done quite a bit, Dr. Julia, but the way you're talking about this thing, and I said, just think about it. I shared information. When you're ready, I'm here. Do you think it's the same thing you have done before? You don't? That's not no rush. Nothing, no problem. Remember, I'm not chasing you. I'm not preaching. I'm not preaching to you. I just gave you the information. You are a learned woman. Just do your homework. I was shocked yesterday. She texted me and said, I'm interested, and listed the kind of businesses she has done before. She said, it doesn't sound like it is the same. This is what you're telling me is just a hanging fruit. These are her words. She's a physician. I said, I'm glad. Just think through it. We're here, but if you want to, jump in, I will say jump in because there's a promotion going on now. So those kind of people who take time, read, digest the information, you really want them to be, part of your business. But those people who say, oh, I don't want to hear about it. It's nothing, I've done it before. I'm sure you haven't, So, but I also don't condemn anybody that is scared, that is, skeptical. Yes, I was skeptical at the beginning, but I did my due diligence. I read about it. I know people that I know on a personal life. I didn't know they were doing this, but I have seen a track, like there's something going on with this person, and I now put one and one together. I'm like, oh, is that what it is? So my goal is I encourage everyone. You're listening to any of us on the panel, you're visiting our website, you're seeing our ad, do your due diligence. Ask questions because this is about you. I was telling somebody yesterday, I said, this is your business. It's not Julia's business. It's your business. You need to run it how you want to, but I want to support you. You need to be present. You need to do this. You need to do that. You can't invest such a money and every day you're going to work. It's not going to work. In 2 years now, you say, oh, it didn't work because you didn't do your part. So do your due diligence. Reach out to any of us, if you want to explore more, you want to hear more, and I will say, stop procrastinating. That's my word. Stop procrastinating. Stop being on defense. Ask questions and we will plug you in. I tell people this is a system. I'm not so much on social media for business. I speak in conferences, not this type of social media stuff, but I'm learning it and I think I'm doing well and I'll continue to grow, until I get to my destination. And I know it's not today, it's not tomorrow. That legacy is somewhere, where each and every one of us is looking forward to get there. And we will get there, if we continue to do the right thing. Thank you.
Emphasizing, the impact, taking action, not just on you, but on others. I want our coach to round up for us. Tell us small steps that people who haven't taken decision can do to reverse the situation they are in. I have a mentee. He told me somebody spoke to him about this digital business 3 years ago, a friend. He refused. But when he saw me talking about it, he came in and he was saying, oh, he's regretting not starting when he was told that time. So, Coach Dorothy, tell us what people in that situation, especially those that have still not taken any action, what they can do to help themselves out of this circle.
That's a big one. But I should start by mindset first. However, a lot of people, the reason why they are not taking action because they are skeptical. That's the first thing, right? Like the way you shared that a friend saw it, a mentee saw it 3 years ago, but this person did not take action. And When you ask the person, why didn't you take action? She will simply tell you, I was skeptical, right? So I believe skepticism is something which is, holding a lot of people behind. And I love it because I want you to be skeptical. All of us here, we were skeptical. But the difference is you have to choose where you fall. Where is this skepticism fall? Do you have skeptical? Are you skeptical? Sorry, when you have a fixed mindset or you have a growth mindset? Because everybody on this planet is skeptical. Nobody is. Even myself, when I started this business, I was. Even some other fields whereby it's not even about it's not about business. People are going in for surgery. They're like, what if I don't come back? I'm skeptical to do that, right? We are, but the mindset, it's the one which is going to help us to overcome. Or if you're in that situation, your mindset is the one to help you. The only thing you have to do is to change yourself from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Because somebody with a growth mindset, instead of saying, I cannot do it, they will say, how can I do it? I'm not yet there, but they are working on them to go where? To go there. They're working on themselves. So, and the other thing is that a lot of things are going on, mostly online, right? Skepticism, we completely understand it, but you have to sit down and then dig deep you and decide, because it's not something, this thing, it has no medication. There's no hospital you're going to go to change the mindset. Right? It has no, it is something you, the person, to change. Doctors can change heart. You can go there and change blood. They can, should I say physical things you can change. You have an option, right? Even if somebody, let's say, they brain tumor, people are there changing people. They can even change your and they start another one, right? But they cannot change your brain. They cannot change that mindset. You are the one to go and work on yourself, work on your goals. And the only way you're going to actually overcome that, if you're in that situation, is your why. Think about your why, not all your questions. Now this time, don't look for people to answer your questions. Start to answer your questions first before you look for those people, because you will go to them when you already even have your answers, okay? So when you list down all your goals, or when you first understand your why, is it a short-term, business you're looking for? Is it a long time? Are you just looking to supplement on your income, or you're looking to build generational wealth? Are you looking to, have time with your family, or you just you're like, okay, even if I have 2 days or 3 days a week, when I have some time with my family, I don't love the entire week. So you need to understand your main biggest why, and then start to evaluate. If your why is to get time with your family, who is having time with their family? What are they doing? How can I start? If you're looking to build generational wealth, oh my God, you're tired of your 9 to 5, right? You're working under an hectic environment. You're waking up and you're like, I don't want to go to work today, but I need to pay the bill next week. But I need to pay, if your kids are in private, because there are some people, in those corporate jobs, there's a certain life you want to live, but unfortunately, you cannot live it on your own terms, right? You can afford to pay that private school, but without you actively going to that 9 to 5, you cannot pay it, right? So you're waking up not because you want. You're going to work. It took you years even to get those degrees, but now time comes when the body tells you, please, Dorothy, I need some rest. Some time comes and yourself. You know, we are growing. When I graduated, I wasn't thinking about time with my family. It came when I gave birth, right? So things changing in this life. So you need to sit down, get your why. Once you're done with your why, now start to look for those people who are already, start to look for those people who are already in your future because you're not yet there, because you're looking for an option. So start to look for those kind of people. You're seeing here, these ladies, they are here talking about business, and they mentioned about living life on your own terms. They mentioned about having time with kids. And it's what I'm looking for. Then what are you waiting for? Right? So if you change that mindset and get that skeptical, put it, actually, you need to place it on the right, in the right mindset. If you have a fixed mindset where you think that it's all about 9 to 5, there's nothing else, right? Without working, instead of looking for another option, you're looking to get a second job or to add on another degree, right? So this simply tells you that, okay, now it's time to start fixing my mindset from this fixing mindset, from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. So that's what I can leave for everybody who is there and struggling with that.
Mindsets, where mindsets changes, you know, and this is our topic. This is what we are dealing with. Shifting your mindset positively. That's what we were just talking about. You think about your children, you want to give them good education. This job won't do it. That's your why. So how do I achieve it? Then skepticism won't put you in prison. Fear won't lock you up. You know, fear is a mental prison. It's worse than the physical prison. So you need to pull yourself out of those situations. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you guys. Let us know what you think about this topic. If you want us to talk about something else, drop it in the comment section and we will be happy to address it. Thank you and bye from us.
There will be fewer and fewer jobs that a robot cannot do better. What to do about mass unemployment? This is going to be a massive social challenge. And I think ultimately we will have to have some kind of universal basic income. I don't think we're going to have a choice.
Universal basic income.
Universal basic income. I think it's going to be necessary.
So it means that unemployed people will be paid across the globe.
Yeah.
Because there is no job, machine, robot is taking over.
That's simply and I want to be clear that these are not things that I think that I wish would happen. These are simply things that I think probably will happen. And if my assessment is correct and they probably will happen, then we need to say, what are we going to do about it? And I think some kind of a universal basic income is going to be necessary. Now, the output of goods and services will be extremely high. So with automation, there will come abundance. There will be almost everything will get very cheap. I think I think we'll just end up doing a universal basic income. It's going to be necessary. The harder challenge, much harder challenge, is how do people then have meaning? Like a lot of people, they derive their meaning from their employment. So if you don't have, if you're not needed, if there's not a need for your labor, what's the meaning? Do you have meaning? Do you feel useless? That's a much harder problem to deal with.